Shalom YouTube, you're listening to The Financially Savvy Chick. In today's video, I want to talk about 3 factors driving gold higher. Before I dive into that topic, I'm going to ask that you hit the thumbs up on this video. So, gold, it's on the cusp of setting a new all-time high, and the current economic and financial environment provides 3 key factors that are bullish for gold to move higher. We see that number 1, monetary policy is being forced to ease as bank problems continue and waning economic growth. Berkshire Hathaway's annual shareholders meeting was held on May 6 at the event monikered the Woodstock for Capitalists. Warren Buffett and his right-hand man Charlie Munger answered investors' questions in regard to the economy. Buffett told the packed auditorium, "It is a different climate than 6 months ago." The Oracle of Omaha, Buffett went on to say, "In the general economy, the feedback we get is that perhaps the majority of our businesses will actually report lower earnings this year than last." When asked about the banking problems, Buffett told the audience that fear in the banking sector has been contagious historically. Sometimes it is justified and sometimes it isn't. He recalled how it used to be that if you saw people lining up at the bank, you should join the line. But the sector has changed over the past few years, and the FDIC was very logical and helps to keep that fear lower. Now, I don't agree with the FDIC bailing every single individual out at SVB, because that's just simply impossible to try to cover everybody's deposit when the FDIC put it in place and set it in law to only cover up to $250,000. Anywho, I digress. The fact that there is still fear in the market is partly due to poor communications by politicians and the press. Munger added that bankers shouldn't be in the investment industry, and Buffett added that the CEO and directors should be the ones to suffer the consequences of bank failures. One big red flag raised by the duo is the festering problems in the commercial real estate sector, which is hollowing out of the downtowns in the U.S. and elsewhere in the world. It's going to be quite significant and quite unpleasant. He also added that America will get through it, but it will require a different set of owners, meaning that the banks will get the properties back. Buffett added also that the banks don't want the properties, so continuing problems in the banking sector and commercial real estate will keep central banks printing presses going to support these sectors. Now, I'm going to get a little bit off topic and say that he's saying all of this to keep people from panicking and bank runs from continuing as they were. Buffett forgets that he's given quite the amount of advice on trust in banks, especially when the Great Depression took place. Okay. So another reason that's causing gold to soar is geopolitical tensions are high. Moreover, it's the East versus West, and the divide is becoming more apparent. The sanctions are not the first targeted non-Russian companies, but they targeted a country with which Europe has made important ties, in which French and other EU countries have been hoping to prod to play a constructive role in Ukraine. The continuing tensions will likely accelerate the de-dollarization trend, which is a key factor in record central bank gold demand. A third factor for why gold is increasing is that inflation is likely to stay higher than pre-COVID levels for a significant period. The shift of central banks to easing is in contrast to their inflation fighting tightening. Central banks they're pretty much in a tug of war between fighting inflation and saving their banking system and economies. As more vulnerabilities are exposed over the coming months, the banking system and economy are likely to take precedence over higher than 2% inflation growth. I don't know why they keep throwing these numbers out here. Just like when the SVB bank fell, they threw out 600. I remember seeing $670 trillion that they were in a hole. Now it's just numbers after numbers. It's so many different numbers that they're throwing out about what they broke, okay? And there is no such thing as a 2% inflation rate. Inflation is over 25% right now. Dollar Tree is no longer a Dollar Tree. They are selling items in there for $5 now. Like, get real. So remember that the 2% inflation targets are set by a fluke and could change either temporarily or permanently. I believe the inflation rate has changed permanently. So our message for this week remains resonant with each week past. The system are designed around maximizing banker leverage instead of minimizing counterparty risk. So in the long run, silver and gold benefit from calming structural changes in how the world's financed. Take your time, look into what assets you might want to start investing your fiat money in, and consider just doing a little bit more research for yourself. Please hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to check out our website. Until next time, shalom.